Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your October 2019 mid-month general readings. Yes, my background has changed. I am off traveling again. I'm back in Eastern Europe where the weather is beginning to turn kind of cold. The lighting's a bit dim today. I usually stay in a variety of different Airbnbs or Airbnb type things, so it's always a bit hit and miss with what I'm kind of walking into. So hopefully the lighting should be sufficient for our purposes today. So welcome to everyone, and welcome back to followers and subscribers, and welcome to any newcomers. This reading is for the Earth sign of Virgo for the remainder of October 2019. Remember to check your rising and moon sign videos as well. As many of you know, general readings always resonate a little differently for everybody who's watching, because there's so many of you watching, and everybody's got different things going on in your lives. So watching your rising and your moon sign videos, if you know them, and if you can provide additional clarification. If any of you are interested in reaching out to me for a personal one-on-one reading, you can click on the description link below for more information. You can also go to my YouTube channel's homepage and click on the About button there. And feel free to email me at maggie1maguire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to work with you. I can usually respond to your initial inquiry the same day or within the first 24 hours. And scheduling is done in a pretty timely fashion too. I do readings full-time, 5 to 6 days a week. It's all that I do. So I'm pretty diligent at working with everyone's schedules to get them readings as quickly as possible. So send me an email if you're interested, and we will go from there. All right, Virgo, let's see what the last couple of weeks of October have in store for you. All right, we begin with the King of Pentacles, followed by the Knight of Swords. We have the Eight of Wands, followed by the Six of Swords. And from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy and focus for the last half of October is the Ace of Wands. And I am using the Gilded Tarot by artist Cyril Marchetti. So Virgo, it looks like many of you are exploring or gathering resources, information, or making plans on a new beginning of some kind. Could be travel for some of you. Perhaps some of you are planning a trip. Your overall focus is the Ace of Wands. Wands is fire energy. That's the element which governs this suit. And that's all about passion, creativity, artistry, movement, change, power, etc. It's very passionate, fast forward, assertive energy. And it's usually forward moving as well. Aces represent the number 1, so they represent new beginnings. So the Ace of Wands would represent an exciting new beginning, a new beginning that holds quite a lot of passion. Again, since this is a general reading, some of you, this may, this is going to resonate in different areas of your life for some of you. But there's some new beginning which I feel like you're making plans, gathering information, and I feel like some of you too are actually getting ready to physically act on this as well. Some of you, again, I'm getting kind of a travel sort of energy. We have around the middle to the third week or so of October the King of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. For many of you, this King of Pentacles is going to represent you, your energy. It could also, for some of you, represent perhaps another earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or somebody perhaps with a lot of earth in their natal chart who may be significant in this. For others of you, this is going to represent you being in your own earth element. Earth is the element which governs the suit of Pentacles, and Pentacles is all about the security and stability in our life, particularly in the physical structure of our life, which is often why Pentacles points to things like money, finances, property, resources, assets, etc., job, or the efforts we put into having the things in our life that makes the physical structure of our life feel stable and gives us a sense of safety and continuity. Kings and queens represent individuals who have mastered the character traits inherent to their suit. So the King of Pentacles would represent someone, female or male, can't be too gender specific in the general readings. This would represent somebody who's likely quite good with money, who's likely financially comfortable, if not well off, somebody who's very good in the realm of money and material issues, the day-to-day world that we actually have to walk in. This is a person who's worked very hard to get to the place of stability where they're at, and they enjoy that stability. They enjoy having good, comfortable surroundings and the things of comfort in their life. They typically tend to be pretty sincere, pretty stable, good providers, very generous, and they believe that everyone else ought to have the same opportunities they do. So somebody who's kind of sitting in a pretty good place of stability, particularly financially or materially in their lives. They tend to be pretty sincere and loyal as well. So for many of you, this is you. For some of you, it might also be another individual who represents the King of Pentacles. But I think for many of you, it's your energy. Now, accompanying that is the Knight of Swords. So swords is air energy. That's the element which governs this suit. And this is mental, cerebral, intellectual energy. This is about our perceptions, information, words, ideas, and how we communicate those to the outside world. Truth, illumination, higher education, and learning. Knights usually represent they can sometimes represent individuals. They often represent offers or opportunities, something coming in which could potentially provide change, and the speed at which situations move. The Knight of Swords is bringing news, information, research, that sort of thing. He's often an information gatherer, and he moves very quickly, kind of in and out. And I do feel, I mean, you have the Ace of Wands and the Eight of Wands, which both implies that there's a lot of movement or fast action kind of around this situation. I mean, this could be something that you've been thinking about for quite some time, Virgo, and over the last half of October, you're kind of really busy gathering information, putting together your ideas, making your plans, putting those plans in motion, kind of moving around quite quickly. I feel kind of like a lot of you have a list and you're kind of, this last couple of weeks, kind of checking this list off. But for some of you, it's about doing research, gathering the information and doing research about this new beginning. For some of you, it may be moving or changing residences, and the reasons for that, of course, could vary. Now, next to that, we have the Eight of Wands and the Six of Swords. The Eight of Wands is a card often of communication, can also represent travel, very fast-moving communication and travel. Sometimes it can represent waiting on messages or waiting for news. You can see that the wands have left their point of origin, but they haven't quite reached their destination yet. So sometimes it can represent waiting for news and messages that are on their way. But it often also represents communication, delivering communication, or communication going back and forth. Now, the clarifying card for the Eight of Wands is the Six of Swords, which is a card of peace, restoration, respite, healing, moving away from something difficult or challenging. If you could see the water behind the boat, it would be very choppy, wavy, and turbulent, representing the source of, I mean, it could be an obstacle, conflicts, some kind of chaos that's been going on in your life, or just something, a challenge that you've been putting a lot of work and effort into, but you're moving out of that and into more peaceful, placid surroundings. Now, it's a transitional card, meaning that you're leaving the worst part of it behind you and you're moving towards a better, more stable place in your life. You haven't quite reached the other shore and not quite on solid ground yet, but it's definitely moving towards that. So it feels for many of you like you're in kind of a transitional phase here. The Six of Swords would imply that whatever it is that you're making plans to move towards, it's also about what you're moving away from, some source of conflict or imbalance, disharmony in your life, a difficult time. And again, because this is a general reading and you have a fairly even mix of elemental energy here, with the exception of Cups, which is more emotional energy. It feels like you're exploring, you're either gathering information and exploring a particular avenue, or you've already decided on a particular avenue, and you're gathering, you're doing the research, getting the information, and setting the plans into motion so that you can maybe towards the end of October or the beginning part of November actually move on this, actually take physical action. And that physical action may indeed involve moving and relocating, or simply traveling as well. Some of you, this could be, general readings always vary in intensity and degree and area of your life too. So some of you, this could be, something as simple as making plans. Maybe you just decided, you're overworked, you've been stressed out because of things going on in your life, and you need to get away, and this is what this is about. You're just making plans as quickly as you can, because I feel a sense of haste about this. I think, it could be that some of you are more focused on trying to get away from something or get out of something difficult, in which case I think the caution would be to make sure that you do exercise your own earth energy and this energy of the Knight of Swords, to make sure that you explore as much as you're able to what you're thinking of going into, and that you're not just in such a hurry to get out or away from something, that you choose a path that's not all that great either. It really just kind of depends on what's going on in your life. So let's pull an advice guidance card from Spirit for you. What's the best way for Virgo to navigate through this for the last half of October? And again, for some of you, it could be less about, coming out of an emotionally difficult place or a very stressful place, or it might just be about you're planning a getaway, in order to give yourself a break, a rest, a reprieve, maybe from working too hard or from some other drama that's been going on in your life. I'm just getting kind of a cautionary sense of don't rush. I mean, we want to make sure there's water in the pool before jumping. So your advice from Spirit is the Hermit. This is interesting. So for some of you that are actually making plans to exit something, someone, someplace, a situation, the Hermit can sometimes represent that this is something that you're doing on your own, or that you should be doing on your own, because the Hermit does walk a rather solitary path. As advice, this can also, the Hermit kind of takes some time to withdraw. What do hermits do? Hermits, monks, monastics, what do? They withdraw from the day-to-day distractions of normal day-to-day life. Why do they do that? They do that in order to kind of clear their mind and their lives from clutter, so that they can meditate, get some insight, seek out some guidance, wisdom, insight, in order to help them navigate their way through some situation, or find solution and insight to something. So for some of you, this can represent that over this time period, as advice from Spirit, this would be not a time period where you want to be socializing a lot. Some of you, it could be that, again, because I get this sense of haste around this, that if it's something that you're moving out of and you need to, like it's an abusive situation, or, the plumbing exploded in your house and you have to find a new place to be, at least for a time, then you have to do what you have to do. But the Hermit can represent taking some time to, maybe not socialize quite so much, taking some time to kind of withdraw and look at every aspect of the situation, particularly what you're moving into or considering doing, even if it's the place that you've chosen, and make sure that it's the right thing to do. I also think that for some of you, this is a decision that, or this is a path, at least this part of the path, that Spirit is saying it's probably a good idea if you don't involve other people or too many people in this as well, because the Hermit is a rather solitary card. It needs to be, because in order to get the insight and wisdom and perhaps a solution, or taking a look at everything, all the facts, everything that's involved, in order to find the answer, is symbolized by this light, which is helping him walk this narrow precipice. Other people, no matter how positive the connection is with other people, they are a distraction that kind of pulls us out of that meditative space. So fundamentally, I think it's about making sure to, take a step back, let the noise die down for a bit, and make sure that what you're planning and what you're doing is in alignment with where you want to be going. Yeah, interesting reading. I mean, and this could, because it's a general reading, this could resonate in, a relationship arena. This could resonate in those of you who are contemplating moving or traveling, or it could be a work career path situation as well. Take your time and take some time to kind of step back into a quiet place or a quiet space to kind of take a look at everything that you're doing, and just make sure that you're not in such a hurry to get out of something or remove yourself from something that you put yourself on a path that you might, later regret or find out that it's not what you thought it would be because you didn't explore it adequately. Okay, Virgo, that pretty much sums up your October 2019 mid-month reading. I hope you found it helpful and useful. Again, if any of you are interested in reaching out for a personal one-on-one reading, you can click on the description link below. You can go to my YouTube channel's homepage and click on the little About button there, and you can email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. I'll see you all again in a couple of weeks for the November 2019 general readings, and until then, as always, I wish you much joy and love and peace, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.